Hello everyone and welcome back to the Platinum Tools YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm showing you guys how to go ahead and use the OpenSea page within the Platinum 2.0 extension. Before we go ahead and begin today's video, I'd highly recommend you go ahead and check out the YouTube playlist linked down below. That will go through every single page and break down the entirety of the 2.0 extension, and most importantly, it will begin with the initial setup. I highly recommend you watch that video before we move on to this. If you've set up and you're ready to go, then let's go ahead and begin today's video. So on the extension, navigate over to the OpenSea tab because that is today's focus. When you come to the page, it's going to look like this. You're going to see the Platinum branding. You're going to see the current GUI. This is a tracker for GUI, so it's obviously very useful information to have. You don't have to have anything else open. You can simply just have this open and see the current gas values. Then on the side here, we have the OpenSea section. I'll go ahead and break that down in just a moment. You have the monitored collections. I'll break that down in one moment. And then we have three buttons that I want to go ahead and shift our focus to initially. Then we'll go ahead and break down the rest of the extension. One note, I will be breaking down these buttons on every single page video. So OpenSea, Magic Eden and the contract minter. So you can go ahead and skip past that once you get the basic idea if you're watching through all these videos. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and begin. When you go ahead and click on the wallet icon, this is going to show you your current active wallet. Now if you do watch the first video, you will know that when you boot up the extension, a MetaMask notification is going to pop up and it will prompt you to log in. Once you've logged in, that will be your current active wallet that you will use with the extension. I'll go ahead and demonstrate some use cases for that later in the video. So we can see my current active wallet, we can see my balance, and we can see some numbers and letters part of the contract address for that wallet. Then we have some information here. Platinum Tools uses the active MetaMask wallet. If you are experiencing issues connecting a wallet, simply restart the Platinum Tools extension and try again. Further support can be provided inside the Platinum Discord server. Please open a ticket to speak with a Platinum staff member. So please keep all that information in mind. The next icon we have here is the gas calculator. Now to go ahead and break this down, we have the mint price, gas limit, priority fee, GUI, and then we have the fee once it's calculated based off the information you've given here. So let's say for example the mint price is 0.08 ETH, and let's say the gas limit is 1000 for example. Let's say priority fee is 100. I'm just making up these values for the sake of this video. And let's say the GUI is the current GUI of 128. Now that will go ahead and tell me my fee, and then I can go ahead and distinguish whether I want to do this transaction. But what we can also do is actually set gas. Now when you click this button, if we go ahead and navigate over to this button over here, this will go ahead and allow you to manage your gas presets. And because we've just done the calculation and click this button, it's automatically ported that information over into these values. We have the gas limits, max priority, max gas, and then the monitoring delay, which we can go ahead and configure here. But once you go ahead and change the monitoring delay, you do need to restart this. For the monitoring delay, it is 5000 milliseconds upwards, so please do not configure this below 5000 milliseconds, as this is the quickest delay that is available. Now that we've gone ahead and broken down that, let's shift our focus back to OpenSea. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is add a collection to the monitored collection section. I'm going to click this. I'm going to type in Zuki. Now this does have to be the project slug, as the extension will go ahead and use that to monitor the collection. So I know that the slug for Zuki is simply a Zuki. So I'm going to click add, and that will go ahead and add the collection. Let's give it one moment here and you will see this get updated. In the meantime, you can see that the collection name over there has been updated and it's Azuki. We have the collection name. We have NFTs part of the collection showing up here. I'll break that down in just a moment. We have the name, obviously, the banner, the icon. When you hover over the icon, you can also delete it. We have the floor value at the top, and then we have the total traded volume. Now, before we go ahead and break down everything else, I do want to demonstrate one last thing with the add collection function. Let's say if we were to go ahead and add something else, let's say Cyberkongs-VX, which is another project. If I click add, let's give it one moment here, just like we did with Azuki, you will see that the collection gets added, and I have the ability to navigate between both collections. So once again, collection name, collection icon, collection banner, floor, and volume. And as you can see, this is a different collection. I can go ahead and switch between the two collections simultaneously, and I can add as many collections as I want. So obviously this is pretty useful. And if I do want to go ahead and delete a collection, I go ahead and click it, and there you go. Then I'll go ahead and click back onto Azuki here, and we can see everything related to that. So now that we've broken that down, let's head over to this section of the extension and let's break it down. Now moving on to the trait filter part of the extension within the OpenSea page, one thing to note is that all the NFTs you are currently seeing here are the listed NFTs. The extension can't go ahead and show you NFTs that are part of the collection that are not listed, so please keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and navigate over to the trait filter 1 and 2. So I'm going to go ahead and activate a trait filter, and it will go ahead and use that filter with the search results. So I'm going to click the drop down, and as you can see, we can see a bunch of traits here. So let's say, for example, we want the background to be green. It'll have the parent category, it'll have the trait within that category, and it'll have the count. Now this count isn't the amount of NFTs that are going to appear, it's the amount of NFTs with this trait as part of the collection. So that includes listed NFTs and non-listed NFTs. So let's say I want the background to be green. Let's give it 1 moment to go ahead and refresh. As you can see, the listed NFTs with the background green are now appearing here for me to view. But let's go ahead and add a second trait filter here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this trait filter here. I'm going to go ahead and click this. I'm going to hit refresh. Let's give it 1 moment. And you will see that now there is even less results showing because we are using 2 trait filters, and both these NFTs that are appearing here have both the background green and hair with green puffballs, and it's within the range 0 to 500 Ethereum. So when it comes to the results here, currently the minimum ETH price and the maximum ETH price are here. We have 0 and 500. Now I can go ahead and change this. So let's say, for example, I have a budget. Let's say I'm minimum willing to spend 10 Ethereum on this, but let's say I don't want to go over 50 Ethereum. So let's say that's my range. I can go ahead and change these values, then click refresh, and you will see that the data represents that. So let's give it 1 moment here. As you can see, the data has been updated. All these values fit the values here. So I said minimum 10 Ethereum. That is the cheapest Azuki I'm going to get within this price range. And then the maximum is 50. And you can see none of the NFT prices go above 50, as you can see. And just whilst we're here, just as I just saw this just now, you guys saw a light blue NFT. Now essentially what that is these dark NFTs represent NFTs you've already seen whilst querying based on the details you've entered here, if that makes sense. The light blue type of NFTs that will appear here in your searches are new NFTs that you have not seen before. So just to go ahead and get that out of the way, you guys know what that is. So now that we've gone ahead and broken down the minimum ETH price and maximum ETH price, I'm going to speak about what an individual NFT looks like when you go ahead and search for them. So we've already established that this is going to be the price in Ethereum. This is going to be the picture of the NFT. That's going to be the number within the NFT collection. This is going to be the rarity. So how rare is this NFT within the collection? And that's going to be the NFT name. Now you may have noticed these stars, and that does lead me on to the next part of this section is rank percentile. So I'm going to go ahead and change this. I'm going to select the top 1%, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I click top 1%, click refresh, and you will see the top 1% NFTs as part of the Azuki collection in just 1 moment. As you can see, it's right here. So this is the NFT. Now, as you can see, we have a red star here. Now the red represents the top 5 percentile. Now, if I go ahead and change this to top 5%, you will see, and obviously I have to click a refresh, give this 1 moment. You can see that all these NFTs have red stars because it is within the top 5%. Obviously the top 1% still has a red star because it is part of the top 5%, if that does make sense. But that's what those red stars mean. Now if I switch over to top 10%, you will see something new here. So let's give it 1 moment. Now you can see that we have red stars, but we also have orange stars. Now these orange stars simply mean the top 10 percentile. So it's definitely something to keep in mind when you are looking at NFTs within the Platinum Tools extension. And just to go ahead and back up that statement, if you look at any of the NFTs here on the top 10 percentile, you can see that the rarity doesn't go above 10 because we've gone ahead and selected the top 10% rank percentile as a filter for our results. And now just whilst we're on the subject, I'm going to go over to top 20% and click a refresh. You're going to see one thing in just a moment. So you can see a difference here between orange and yellow stars. Orange, we've already covered that in the video. Yellow is NFTs that are part of the top 20% that don't come under the 10%. So between 10 and 20 pretty much. And then white means above 20%. So let's say, for example, I do top 55 and click a refresh. You will see some white stars here. You can see a ton here already, but I'm just going to go and demonstrate this. So you can see that this is 9.64, that's that color. We can see this is 18.91, that's why it has a white star. So that goes ahead and breaks down the ranking and what these stars mean. Now that I've gone ahead and broken that down, let's move over to the next section of the extension. It is standby mode and select newest. One thing to mention regarding rarity within the collection is that unrevealed collections will not have a rarity, and not every collection will have a rarity. So if it doesn't or needs to be refreshed, you can go ahead and ask in the Platinum Discord server. So to break down what standby mode is, it essentially, when you go to enable this mode, it will instruct the extension to automatically click on any NFT listing that shows up here. So it removes the need of you having to wait for one to pop up. So it will go ahead and click it for you. So let's say, for example, you have a very specific type of filtering going on here. Let's say you have some trade filters. Let's say you have a minimum and maximum ETH price and you want it to be in a certain rank percentile. Obviously right now we have a ton of NFTs, but let's say it is very rare for an NFT to match your requirements. Having that on will allow the extension to quickly go ahead and click on it, and all you have to do is go ahead and click approve on MetaMask, which is what I'm going to show you right now. So if we go ahead and enable standby mode here, let's give it one moment. So as you can see, it attempted a snipe and it popped up the MetaMask notification. Now let's say, for example, I was just on my computer and I wasn't paying attention and I had all my filter settings set correctly and I definitely wanted this NFT. I wouldn't have to pay attention to everything that shows up here. Essentially, all I will have to do is wait for a notification to pop up, go ahead and click confirm, and I can get my desired NFT. So I believe this to be very useful because it does save you a lot of time, and you can go ahead and go about your day on your computer or wherever, and then you only have to worry about this notification. Just to go ahead and expand on standby mode, let's say a user wants to go ahead and get a NFT under the floor price. They can go ahead and set up their filters to obviously show NFTs that are under the floor price. Let's say the floor price is 5 Ethereum and they want to snipe NFTs under 5 Ethereum. They can go ahead and do that, but paired with standby mode, essentially the extension will go ahead and monitor for NFTs that come under the floor price, and standby mode will go ahead and snipe the NFTs as they come into the search results. Now when it comes to the select newest option, this will only work when standby mode is active, and this will automatically snipe the newest NFT listed when checked. This will be best for high volume situations where getting the newest NFT is necessary. And just before we go ahead and transition over to this section, it is important to know that if an NFT does pop up here and you don't want to use standby mode, alternatively you can just simply click on the NFT and it will attempt to go ahead and snipe it. So if you don't want to use standby mode and alternatively you just want to go ahead and click it, you can go ahead and do that as well. Now to break down these buttons, simply the refresh button just goes ahead and refreshes the results that pop up here. Visit collection will go ahead and visit the collection. So we're going to go ahead and click this and it will navigate over to the Azuki collection. If I go to my browser, give it a minute, as you can see, it navigated over to the collection. Just to go ahead and interject in the video, I do want to go ahead and mention something that I did not cover previously. Essentially, when you come over to the OpenSea page and you go to activities or you go to the actual collection itself, you will see platinum related icons on the screen and platinum related data. So I am on the activity for Azuki and I have a platinum Quickbuy button. So if I click this, it will attempt to do the quick buy. As you can see, insufficient funds because I do not have 38 Ethereum in my wallet. We can see the rarity. We can also see the traits. So this information is useful. So you don't always have to be inside the extension. You can be on OpenSea with the Platinum extension 2 ready, obviously on the collection, and that data will be there. Now, if I actually go to the Azuki collection here, just like so, if you give this one moment, you will see the platinum related stuff is on here as well. So obviously this data is useful. Then if I go ahead and click activity brackets listings, it will take me to the activity section for the collection. And if you want to go ahead and clear the ranking cache, that will go ahead and clear the ranking cache obviously, and then it'll go ahead and refresh when I click the refresh button, and then you can get up-to-date statistics regarding that. Now it did take a minute there to refresh because we went ahead and cleared the ranking cache, but if you do want to get updated data and you believe that it does need to be cleared, then you do have the option to do that. That is going to go ahead and conclude this broken down overview of the OpenSea tab within the Platinum 2.0 extension.